Welcome to Cricket World TV. It's time for another Indian Premier League hotspot with me, John Pennington, and joining me in India once again, Chetan Narula. Hello, Chetan.
Hello, John, and welcome to our viewers on another hotspot for the seventh season of the IPL.
Yeah, before we get into our sort of game-by-game review as we do with these hotspots, overriding thing this week really is the IPL just becoming the Glenn Maxwell show.
Well, three matches so far, and from if you have to take pointers from those three matches, yes, of course, the answer is evidently. I mean, there've been quite a couple of IPL fantasy leagues as well, and I think he's in every team. If not for the first match, then probably in the second and definitely the third match in all of those teams, and it just goes to show what sort of an impression that he's making, and not just from a fantasy leagues point of view, but also from a cricketing point of view. He's been instrumental in the way Kings 11 Punjab have played their cricket. Everybody was talking about how good this team looked on paper. We haven't seen enough of the rest. I mean, of the 30-man squad, 29 cricketers. We haven't seen what they are capable of because he's been the one who's done all the hard work in the last three matches. Um, it looks a good team, but right now it's all a Glenn Maxwell show, and he's already got them three wins out of three, and put them in pole position after this just 1 week of competition.
Absolutely, we'll talk more about him as the show goes on. Last time we spoke on our hotspot, we were sort of watching between them as the start of the Delhi-Mumbai game, and that game, of course, did actually go down to the wire with Delhi winning it by 4 wickets with, I think, 3 balls to spare. A really impressive innings from JP Duminy taking them home on that occasion. Just to give us your thoughts on that game, Chad. I think that ended quite a long losing run for Delhi as well.
Yeah, I mean they needed that victory, but again, I think John, there was quite a lot of not a lot of positives to take from that win, except the fact that JP Duminy is in great form. He was in great form in the World T20 for South Africa as well, and I thought it was a good buy for Delhi Daredevils. And considering that he was in a bit of a good form, he was one player from the Delhi Daredevils who was expected to shine really. Um, that's what he did. Obviously, he's been bowling as well, but obviously Delhi have not really. I mean, obviously, once you move on from that particular match, you have to go on to the match against Chennai Super Kings, and they were bowled out for a very low total. I mean, anything around 50 runs is a huge defeat in T20 cricket, and they lost by some 90 odd runs. So that is like losing two matches in one go. I mean, um, Delhi haven't really kicked on. They are missing their senior figure. That's Kevin Pietersen, who's still out with an injured finger. He's expected to be back in this game, or perhaps in the next game, or perhaps not even then. Maybe he'll just come back when they start playing in India. Now, the fact of the matter, though, is that Delhi are sorely missing him, and their plans are going haywire. Dinesh Karthik is. I'm not sure if he's proving to be a very, very good captain. Obviously, in the last game he was handicapped by the fact that they had one bowler missing, Nathan Coulter-Nine, who was, I think Nathan Coulter-Nine, who was a bit injured, wasn't it? And they were a bit handicapped. But even then, I'm not sure if Dinesh Karthik is, uh, there as the captain, and they don't really have another captaincy figure unless they want to, make Ross Taylor their standing captain. Uh, we had discussed earlier in our preview shows that how a huge price tag could have played some pressure on somebody like a Yusuf Pathan. Here, it could be a similar scenario because you have to remember there's a huge price tag on Dinesh Karthik as well. He is their prime buy, and now he's the wicketkeeper. He's a captain. He's batting at number three. I think his plate is a lot full right now, and Kevin Pietersen can't return from injury soon enough for Dinesh Karthik.
Yeah, and it's not just Pietersen who's got injured either. They lost Nathan Coulter-Nile in that game you were referring to there with Chennai Super Kings, which obviously hampered their bowling. But to go down by 93 runs, you can't blame an injury to your bowler for that. The other game on Saturday, we saw the Royal Challengers Bangalore beat the Mumbai Indians. It wasn't one of Bangalore's superstars that did the job on that occasion. It was Parthiv Patel, who I thought played a very, very good innings to guide them home on what could have been a little bit of a tricky run chase.
Yes, I thought you know what again Bangalore have done is that they have really packed their batting lineup. It's I mean obviously Gale hasn't showed up yet, but if it's not Gale, then it's Virat Kohli. If it's not Virat Kohli, then it's AB de Villiers. what they've done is they've brought in Yuvraj Singh and Parthiv Patel too. So they've brought in a couple more Indian faces, so they're not over reliant on youngsters to carry them through once their big hitters get out. And this is a strategy that has paid off for them so far. And what's surprising, John, is that two matches running, their bowling has come to the party, which is something that was not anticipated. Um, so far, it's been good, but against Mumbai, who've had their issues with batting order, and against Delhi, who are looking very, very rusty, I'm not sure it's been a true test of their bowling resources. But once they get to better batting lineups, say Kings 11 Punjab or Chennai Super Kings or who else has a better batting lineup? I think Rajasthan are looking decent, Kolkata are looking decent. The Chennai and Kings 11 are the test at the moment. So once you get into the better batting lineups, I think that will show. Obviously today, after our hangout, Bangalore are going to play Kolkata, and as I said, Kolkata are a decent batting lineup. So it'll be a test of Bangalore's bowling lineup.
Certainly will. And Mumbai, I mean, you touched on it there. When are they going to get this batting lineup sorted? Because if they don't get it sorted soon, they're going to be in trouble.
Well, I'm not holding my breath. It's not happened for 6 seasons. It probably won't happen in the seventh season as well. So, uh, if you look at their batting lineup, it's lightweight and at the moment, isn't it? I mean, they've got Mike Hussey because they wanted to replace Sachin Tendulkar, get somebody with confidence and experience, in there. But Hussey hasn't played a lot of cricket in the last year, and clearly his instincts have slowed down quite a bit. Not sure if it's all about form. I think it's also a little bit about age as well. I think he's in the situation where Sachin Tendulkar was last year, and I'm not sure how much cricket is left in Michael Hussey at the moment. And then if you consider that as a valid point, then your pressure is all on Rohit Sharma and Ambati Rayudu. I mean, Aditya Tare is obviously, you have to say that he's there to hit out. You're not expecting huge innings every game from him. The big innings players obviously are Rayudu and Rohit Sharma, and then you have another youngster in there, and you have Kiran Pollard and Corey Anderson. And again, those two all-rounders are batting very, very low. And then, why isn't Rohit Sharma opening the innings? So somebody who has so much experience with opening the innings in the last 1 year, for him to come down the order, it's an inexplicable move. I mean, you want your best batsman to face as many deliveries as possible, and he is somebody who can hit effortless sixes once he's set in. We have seen that time and again. So I mean, he's not even batting at 3 above Ambati Rayudu. He's batting at 4. So I mean, I don't know why. I mean, if you have really given the issue of flourishing to Aditya Tare, why not just have Rohit Sharma bat at the top of the order? Give him as many ball deliveries as possible. The best teams make sure that their best batsmen are batting at the top of the order. Look at what Kings 11 Punjab did against Sunrisers Hyderabad. They were batting first. They got Maxwell to number 3. I mean, Maxwell's not batted number 3 in either of the two chases, but he's batted at number 3 when they were batting first. So it is they've shown sort of flexibility there, and that's evidently not present in the Mumbai Indians think tank, because whatever be the scenario, I mean, they might be chasing 200, they might be chasing 100, they might be batting first. Kieran Pollard has to bat at number 5, and nobody understands why.
Yeah, spot on. It's almost becoming a recurring theme of this year's IPL, as you mentioned previous IPLs as well. You mentioned Glenn Maxwell batting at 3, then that takes us nicely on to the next game on Sunday. Kings 11 Punjab beating the Rajasthan Royals, who I thought batted pretty well to post 190 odd, but as we know at the moment, the way Maxwell, Miller, Bailey and co are batting, that really isn't enough against Kings 11. Maxwell at 3, Miller at 4, that's well above where they bat for their countries, and that, as you say, is part of why Kings 11 just keep on winning, getting their key batsmen at the crease for as long as possible, and it really worked for them on this occasion.
Well, it's not just about Maxwell and Miller. I thought Cheteshwar Pujara also played a very, very important role, because it's important when we chase in tall scores, something like a 200, 190 or 200, which are evident. I mean, you score 200, you're not going to lose. Nine times out of 10, you're not going to lose. You score 190, 8 times out of 10, you're not going to lose. But the 2 times you're going to lose is when somebody from the opposition just holds one end together, and that's what Cheteshwar Pujara did. 38 balls, 40 runs. He was the one batsman that their batting revolved around, and it gave a free license to Maxwell and Miller, because they knew, okay, one end is held up, and we can just go boom boom from the other end. And so that's what their strategy was, and it really paid off, and that was fantastic to see, because two chases. I mean, 290 plus chases in 2 innings. I mean, that's already made them what, league favourites at the moment.
I would certainly think they are favourites. So yeah, certainly. I think they're still sort of leading our poll as well, up there with the Royal Challengers Bangalore. I think that just reflects the fact that both teams have made a very good start. The next game we had, I think you're spot on with Pujara. I mean, I think he's come out yesterday and sort of said he looks to bat in this sort of Jacques Kallis mode. He's not going to go out there and smash sixes every ball, but be there at the end and make sure he bats a runner ball and better if he can. Monday was a bank holiday here in England, Chetan, and I think the Delhi Daredevils batsmen, maybe they were on holiday as well. We've touched on this game with the Chennai Super Kings. They struggled with injuries, but Chennai, after losing their first game, they're beginning to look at their best.
Yes, I mean, not only that game, but also yesterday. I think yesterday against Rajasthan Royals, it was Rajasthan Royals' game to win. I mean, we've already brushed on the Delhi Daredevils match. Let's talk about yesterday's match out of order here, but because they're both in relation here, because that was Rajasthan's game to win. I think Rajasthan's top order batsmen, Ajinkya Rahane, Shane Watson, and Sanju Samson, all three of them played stupid shots. I mean, for somebody who is very, very talented and seen as a very, very good bet in limited overs cricket for India, Test cricket is totally different. I'm talking about limited overs cricket here. Somebody who's seen as a very, very good limited overs bet, Ajinkya Rahane plays a whole lot of loose shots. He plays a lot of loose shots, and that's something really, really worrying. Shane Watson, again, a loose shot. Sanju Samson, a shot, again, a loose shot. That was not what was required. I mean, obviously, he was also beaten by Ravindra Jadeja's pace a little bit, and maybe a little bit of turn, because the pitch was slightly more to his liking, and that's why he got those 4 wickets. But it was a below par score from Chennai on that particular pitch, and Rajasthan Royals should have won that game, but that did not really happen. And when a team that's able to get two very, very different victories while defending scores, one by 90 runs and one by 7 runs, they are starting to gel together. I mean, Chennai Super Kings did retain a lot of their players. They had 6 or 7 players from their old squad, and they also had a whole lot of new players. And it's once you retain the core, it's also about getting the rest of them together in the ideology that you've had for the last 5-6 years. And from these 2 last games, I think the new players too are now part of the Chennai Super Kings group as such. And I think this team is now really looking good. They're already up to number 3, having lost just 1 game. And I mean, obviously they'll have some sterner tests coming up ahead. But at the moment, they're starting to look good again.
Yeah, and I think it's helped as well, Chetan. They played on Monday, they played yesterday, and they play again tomorrow. So after that first loss, they've got a chance to really get back out on the park. 3 games in 4 or 5 days, and they're in a good rhythm, and that could really help them. We talked about them gelling. One team that doesn't seem to be gelling at all is the Sunrisers Hyderabad, and they went down to the Kings 11 Punjab again in super form by 72 runs. Where do you think some of their problems lie?
Well, obviously, I mean, they have a whole new setup, and they had a new setup last year as well. But they wanted to prove something to the world, and they had the surprise package also a little bit with Tom Moody running the ship. This year again, they have quite a few players who have come in, and they have a whole different nucleus to the side. Not to mention the fact that they also they on paper they are a very, very good squad. I mean, covering all bases. Almost 2 players for every position. I'm not really sure where it's not gelling for them, because it's just not clicking for them. I mean, you have somebody like Warner, Finch, and Shikhar Dhawan batting at the top 3. Somebody like a Dale Steyn, he's not getting enough runs on the board. He is, and again, not just Steyn, his partners as well, not getting enough runs on the board. And the top order has to take the responsibility for this. I mean, these 3 ballistic batsmen, belligerent batsmen, but they're not able to put high scores. I mean, they haven't touched 170, 180, which is quite defendable on these pitches. I mean, if you're always going to score 130, 140, 150, that can be chased down. A couple of overs can make the difference there. And somebody like a Dale Steyn, he bowls 3 out of his 4 overs in the last 10 overs, and by that time the game already slips out of your reach. So I think it's too early to say that Shikhar Dhawan's captaincy is not working, that he's not able to inspire his lads. But I think if this losing trend continues, we might they might have to consider a change in captaincy altogether, because they've already playing Darren Sammy, who is the vice captain, and he has the experience of knowing how to lead the players. He also has some leadership qualities in him. He can inspire in the way he leads the side. I'm not sure if that's what Shikhar Dhawan can do, because it's just been 2 games. And you know what I really want to say is that Shikhar Dhawan has not been in the best of forms coming into this tournament. He was dropped from the World T20, playing 11 for India as well. I mean, obviously he came here to come back in the Test arena in New Zealand, but his limited overs form has been very, very patchy. And well, I'm not sure if he's handling the captaincy issue so well at the moment. I think we'll have to wait and watch. It's just that one spark that is needed, and somebody needs to provide that spark.
Yeah, still quite early days for him in terms of captaincy. I was going to sort of point out that I've seen quite a bit of criticism of him, but he's got enough players with experience around him. He's got enough people in the coaching staff to hopefully sort of set him right. And as you say, give him a bit more time, and hopefully something clicks.
Yes, I think a little more time, but again, we're already into the second week of the IPL, and a week later it will be third week, and the teams will be starting to come back to India and get their preparations underway. You don't want to come back to India without any points on board. It just puts a lot of pressure on you, and just throws the second half into haywire, because by the time the second half of the IPL gets underway, you already have quite some distance to catch up, even to get to the fourth place, and Mumbai, Delhi, Hyderabad. 3 teams at the moment looking down the barrel.
Yep, I know we looked at the Chennai Super Kings Rajasthan Royals game a little bit earlier, but I want to get your thoughts on Ishwar Pandey. You were in South Africa, you were in New Zealand. He seemed to be touring but not playing. He got a chance for Chennai. Looked very impressive to me. How did you see his performances so far?
I've been waiting for him to play for a long while. The first time I saw him was January 2013. Yeah, January 2013. It was he was playing in the Irani Trophy. He was very, very impressive. Had a chance to go to his room, have a small interaction with him. Told me how he started playing cricket just at the age of 19, not any sooner than that, and now he's just burst onto the international scene. He was very disappointed. I met him at dinner on one of those trips to Wellington during the New Zealand trip. He was very disappointed not to have played any games on that tour. But obviously, I think the fact that he was bought by Chennai Super Kings just tells you something, that despite the fact that he was not ready, MS Dhoni saw something in him during the nets. He bowled like a horse in the nets throughout that New Zealand trip. Definitely, MS Dhoni saw something in him during that trip. Ready or not, he is now part of the Chennai Super Kings setup, and if history is anything to go by, I'm not implying any conflict of interest here. I'm just trying to say that any player who plays for Chennai Super Kings has a very, very good chance to play for India. So, a lot of cricket to be played in the next 1.5 years for India, and I think Ishwar Pandey will be getting his chance. Not to mention that he's been bowling superbly. I mean, made an over in T20 cricket. That's for sure.
Yes, it's a well-trodden path, sort of outside of Chennai Super Kings to back into India, or in the India team, or back into the India team in some case. Suresh Raina comes to mind. I think he was sort of out the team, went to Chennai.
Suresh Raina, Mohit Sharma, Ravindra Jadeja, Ashwin, Vijay. It's a long list, John.
Yeah, long and distinguished list. So that sort of brings us to the end of our review, if you like, of the games that we've seen since we last had our hotspot. Looking ahead, today's game, Royal Challengers Bangalore against Kolkata Knight Riders. I sort of view this as a both teams with their batting much stronger than their bowling. So which way do we think this one's going to go?
Well, if you have to compare it like that, obviously both teams have stronger batting outfits, and if I hear it correctly, I think Chris Gayle is returning to the fold for RCB today. He recovered from his lower back injury, so I'm not sure on that. I just heard rumors and read some reports, not confirmed as yet, so just waiting for the toss. If you compare the two bowling lineups, I think Kolkata have a stronger bowling lineup, and that could make a bit of a difference. And also the fact that they'll be up against very, very high quality batsmen. Yes, Kolkata have a good batting lineup, stronger than their bowling lineup. Bangalore have their batting lineup, also stronger than their bowling lineup. But if you compare the two batting lineups, it's the RCB batting lineup, which is very, very strong, with Gayle returning, Virat Kohli in there, Parthiv in good form, Yuvraj Singh and AB de Villiers. That's a very, very good batting lineup. Kolkata have a better bowling lineup with Morne Morkel and Sunil Narayan in there, and a host of other spinners. So it's all about how you can stop the likes of Gale, Kohli, AB de Villiers, Yuvraj Singh, and if I can say so, even Parthiv Patel. So I think that's going to be a key contest today.
Okay, well, I've already gone for Kolkata this morning, Chetan. I tweeted that out. To me, it's almost a 50-50, but they do, for me, have the stronger bowling attack, and that, for me, is why I've gone for Kolkata. Are you going to make a prediction or stay on your fence?
No, I'll go for RCB here because I think
Okay.
Virat Kohli hasn't had the best of run-ins in the first two games, so he's due for runs. As is Chris Gale because we have not seen anything from him yet. Not sure, maybe he'll be rusty once he comes back, but RCB, batting always wins over bowling in T20 cricket, so RCB again.
Okay, tomorrow we've got a double header. Sunrisers take on the Delhi Daredevils, and that it's a must-win for both sides in a little bit of trouble. And then we've got Chennai Super Kings against the Mumbai Indians, which could be, well, again, Mumbai, that's a must-win for them. Chennai will be looking to make it 3 in a row. Do you want to make any predictions for those games?
Well, again, Sunrisers Hyderabad Delhi Daredevils is a 50-50 game. I think it's going to be 1 or 2 overs here and there, and any team which can derive a little bit of confidence. So Delhi will be low on confidence, Hyderabad will be low on confidence, but Delhi can derive some solace from the fact that they have 2 points on the board, and who knows, maybe KP could be returning tomorrow. We never know. So that's what they need. Any team, either team, getting a boost of confidence. I'm not sure I can separate them at the moment because they're both very underconfident. So we'll have to leave it at that. Chennai and Mumbai Indians, I think it's all there. I think it's Chennai all the way because Mumbai just can't seem to get their batting right, and Chennai Super Kings are a team that will take advantage of this slight test miscalculation from their opposition, and Mumbai Indians haven't really calculated their batting order for 6 seasons now.
Yeah, I think your analysis is spot on, Chetan. As ever, Chennai should be too strong for Mumbai, and tomorrow we'll sort of flick a coin and see which side it comes up for the Sunrisers or Delhi. Yeah, whichever team has a good sort of 2-3 over burst could come down to that, couldn't it? Or one player, a Dumini, a Dhawan, something coming off could just decide that game. So that is just about it for this particular hotspot. We'll reconvene in a few days' time to review some more action. Chetan, thank you very much for your time today.
Absolutely a pleasure.
And thank you very much for watching us here on Cricket World TV.